for now. So, quick questions, or quick administrative stuff. I just gave you a bunch of stuff back. I emailed you out a progress report yesterday, so you guys know what your grades are up to this point. At least everything I have. So make sure that what you've got in your folder jives with what you just got emailed last night. I emailed it last night at like 9 or 9:30, so we might not have gotten it yet. Make sure that the grades I have in there match what you guys have in your records. This week, we've got an exam coming on Thursday in class. And then I posted the outer class one for next Tuesday, so it's due a week from today. I just want to make sure you guys know where it is. If you had me before, you kind of know where all this stuff lives. But in case you haven't had me before, I want to make sure. And I just with that courtesy of Will, thank you, I found a small typo. I was updating data sets and forgot to change some context. So I want to make sure you guys see that. If you've got a chance to get into it, you might be slightly confused on one question, but I'll fix that as soon as I can. So if you're on the schedule page, and we're in week 5 now. Well, actually, we're in week 4. The exam will be until week 5. So, out of in 244 out of class portions due right here. Just click on that bit. I sent you guys an email about this over the weekend as well. And basically, what it is it's a more in-depth look than what I'm going to be doing in class with you guys on Thursday. Thursday's exam should be bam, 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 knock it out. Pretty much, can you get an interval? Can you get an interval, and can you do a really quick interpretation of an interval? This exam really dives into what confidence is, you know, the proper interpretation of confidence. It really gets into their nitty-gritty and pulls it apart. So, when you're in here, you're doing a fairly straightforward problem. Down here, I have you guys analyze a statement from Cornell, which talks more deeply about the idea of when confidence intervals overlap, why that's important or why that's not important. And I do that via circle one of each words over here that's correct. Then we get into this thing called relative risk, which is similar to the thing you did in your homework called hazard ratio. This is used a little more prevalently. So just one note about this, just a heads up. In here, I require that you guys jump out to a website. Okay? This bad boy right here. Looks a little daunting. It's not that bad. If you follow the instructions, it walks you through right how to put numbers into this and get results out of it. But I'll give you this. Don't wait until Monday night to try it, because if all of you do that, you'll kill their server. This has happened in the past, where like half the class waits till Monday night and all go to the site and then it locks out and I get these panicked emails saying, I can't get into it. Well, I can't help you. But I can help you. If that happens, just Google relative risk calculator and find another one. There are other ones out there. Or if you want, you can just use the formula they've got right down here. That's also another way of doing it. It's nowhere near as bad as it looks. It looks more terrible than it actually is. I wish you TIs did it. I was going to write a program for it, but it didn't make much sense because I already had it online. So that's a heads up. Just make sure you don't wait till, like I said, Monday night to internet bomb their site. Please.
This isn't one of those tests where you have to like sit down there all the time.
No. You can actually split them. I mean, you can stop at any point, start at any point. The only thing that you kind of have to go in order, Danielle, is number 3 or number 2 kind of has to be done after the beginning of number 1, because I'm pulling statistics from 1 and 2. If that makes sense.
It's like Blackboard, you know.
Oh God, no! This is like a project where you do it on scrap paper and can't turn that in. This isn't like computerized. No, I have it jumping out and going places, but that doesn't mean that it's locking you out after tries or anything. No, nothing like
I
that.
didn't want to go in.
No. You just pop the PDF open, leave it open all day long, save it, print it, whatever you want to do. Cool, thank you. I misunderstood your question. And then down here at the end of that, it looks terrible, but it's basically wordy because I want to kind of we're trying to establish this idea of confidence over and over and over again. Because it's not the most obvious thing. And the more we read, the different ways we read about this, the more it's going to get clearer it's going to be. And then down here, unemployment rates across the country. This is where I made a typo, and I'll fix this hopefully this afternoon. I have you guys looking at March 2012 and also August 2013. And we compare those later on, March 2012 to August 2013, and then I forgot to update the word November. So I will change that to whatever it's supposed to be contextually, whether it's August or March. I'll look at the context and get that. And that was just because I try to update it every 3 months with new data, with the most recent data, and then I go in there and change it, and because I'm me, I tend to forget every once in a while, something like that. So thank you all for catching that. We'll fix it for you guys. And then it's pretty straightforward when you're done. It looks more daunting than it actually is. only because there's so much kind of reading in there, trying to get you guys to go through. Rosie, please.
So every link we're supposed to follow.
There's only one link in there, honestly. There's a second link that I referenced, but all the
That's what I was
information.
asking, 'cause I-
The other link, you already have I gave you the source, so you can check it if you want.
Right.
I try to give you sources whenever I can. But that first link that was in there, Rosie, the one back here, all that does is take you right to the place where I pulled that statement from, which is somewhere, right here.
Okay.
That's where this little guy right here.
Okay.
So that's what I was getting. And this paper, there's some extra credit points available on this out of class, because I have you analyze they made an incorrect part in one of their, in this statement that's highlighted down here. There's a little bit of inaccuracy in what they said, which I think is hilarious coming from Cornell. So your job, if you want to try for some extra credit points, find it and tell me what it should say. Exactly. Basically rephrase it, take out their incorrect word and put back in the correct word, or words. I forget if it was word or words. So, or ignore that. The extra credit, I think, is on page 2. Right here, extra 3 points. Rewrite the entire explanation so it's not incorrect. Cool. So give it a whirl if you want to, or don't. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Yeah? Okay. So that's the out of class part. By definition, it's going to be a little bit more critically, it's going to require a little more critical thinking in the in-class part. The in-class part simply gives you some really quick data sets, has you construct the intervals, and if necessary, interpret them quickly. Are they significantly different? Why or why not? Using the word overlap. That's basically it. That's basically it. Okay? That's Thursday. So it's just over those two sections. It's over Z intervals for proportions and T intervals for averages. That's it. I'm recording that, right? Yeah, that camera's on, right?
Yep.
I mean, not that it's looking at anything interesting except the screen, but you can hear my voice, so if you guys are looking at this later, you know. So I know we're in the middle of hypothesis testing basics right now, and we'll most likely kind of knock out most of that today. But that doesn't mean that that's going to be on the exam Thursday, because we won't have the time to finish talking about it before then. And that seems kind of silly. Okie doke? With me? Ish? Yeah? So, straightforward on Thursday, a little deeper. Still straightforward, but way deeper on the out of class. Take your time, work with anybody you want. Back in the day, I made it so you guys could not work with the tutors. I'm going to lift that and let you work with anybody you want, including tutors, as long as you promise me something. That all 28 of you won't run down there on Monday night, corner Jose or whoever else is down there and demand answers. Because that's what happened a few years ago. That's why I took the tutors off the table, because this is why we can't have nice things. so I took them off the table because the tutors were pissed. They're like, "Whoa, what the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to make students learn stuff." And then they bum rushed them. And this was the first time I'd ever tried out of class exams. So now that you guys are used to out of class exams, I think you know how to proceed. I mean, some of you had me in class before, so you definitely know what they look like. And if you hadn't, I think you'll get the hang of this pretty quickly. But the idea of posting it so early, almost 2 weeks in advance, was to give you plenty of time to get to it. It's not going to take you 2 weeks to do it, or we're going to have to do it. It might take you a week and a half to find 20 minutes to sit down and crunch through it.
Did you lift that one for 05?
Everybody, yeah, we're going to try it. We're going to try it, see what happens. Fingers crossed. Like it's a hate mail on
Did
Monday
you tell
night.
the tutors that you did that?
No. I did tell their boss. I told their boss. I told Kelly.
Okay, that works.
So we'll see how this goes. You'll look like a jerk. It's already done. So this is not going to happen again. Cool? Good? What's the best way to prep for Thursday? What's the best way to prep for Thursday?
Homework.
Yeah, just go back and look at the homework again. Make sure you can crunch through. Make sure you know how to run your TIs. Make sure it's got batteries that are not dead. That's pretty important. I mean, you don't want to do this crap by hand. That's just, you can. You have the talent. I just think it's a waste of your talent to do that. It's much more important for me to get the data processed and tell me what it means. And it's interesting too, because I just got a slideshow from a fellow statistician that said, this guy's got great ideas about statistics. And the first slide was 5 most important things about understanding statistics, and nowhere in there was using formulas. It was recognizing questionable data, being able to interpret results, knowing which questions to ask once you think you have an answer. It's like, holy crap. Gray, gray, gray. Not black, not white, gray, gray, gray. And those made me stoked. Because it's what it is. I just posted something to the Stat of the Day blog that you guys are going to analyze soon. I think I may have told you this, but I have a cross bike, a cyclocross bike. had cantilever brakes on it. Terrifying, terrifying. So I took some measurements over the weekend with my son at a basically very steep driveway, let myself go under the force of gravity to the bottom of the driveway, started braking as soon as I left the driveway, and measured how long it took me to come to a complete stop without skidding. Did that like 24 times until Max got bored. Then he went down the road to play a little bit while I took the bike inside, took the cantilever brakes off, put mini V brakes on. Okay, I couldn't put disc brakes on because I don't have disc brake mounts on the bike, so I put mini V brakes, which is the best alternative I had to cantilevers, which are basically like using your hands to stop yourself, or Fred Flintstone feet. And then I forget how many measurements again, I brought Max back, we measured up something like 20 again. And I posted all that stuff in the Stat of the Day blog, if you're interested. All the measurements are there. My question is, am I braking with less distance with V brakes than with cantilever brakes? Why or why not? And just so you know, you'll analyze that later on. So if you want a sneak peek, I haven't decided if it'll be in class or on a take home or on an in class yet. But that's the kind of question that I want you guys to know. I mean, first of all, you can't prove that I'm braking better, worse, or no different from that data. You can express a result with confidence. Based on this sample, if this sample is indicative of a random sample of the population of stops on similar results, can you support the claim that my V brakes are stopping me in less distance than cantilevers? And there's also questions. Was the study done properly? I described basically how I did the study. You can repose in that, okay? Or you could say, well, does that, you told us last week about how you crashed on trails. This was on a driveway. Is there a difference there? But these are all the questions that get answered, or I should say get answered, get posed when you think you have an answer. That's what kind of makes the whole study of statistics interesting, is it creates more questions sometimes than it actually answers. I know it's frustrating for students sometimes. Yes, what the hell? 1x equal 2. No, it's not. Not for the next 8 weeks anyway. Okay? Yeah? Good Lord, people. All right, we're good. Tuesday, baby. Tuesday, the new Monday. All right, let's fire this up. Who wasn't here last time and needs some handouts? I gave a data sheet handout out and also let's hand those around. So here are the slides. Take 3. Top 3 should be collated still. And here's a data sheet. Just take 1. And I got a stapler I can hand around as well. Here's a stapler, so you can put the slides together. Let's get back into this. I mentioned last time, this is a section you won't find in any stat textbooks. Especially not no effects. Where did we get it? Let's get back and look at the, we'll start with the breast cancer again. I know we finished up this, but I think it's a logical place to kind of start.